I gotta come back and I need to talk about what's going on with the European football next season. The governing body of the European football, of the club game, summits up. They're getting worried about the strength of the EPL, the English Premier League. 2 seasons in a row, you got 3 clubs from England fighting it out. Because if Liverpool had been able to pull their arse out and hadn't had a bad draw against Chelsea, then we could have had an all-English semi-final, which would have meant guaranteed that the European Championship was going to stay in England. So that's why I think that they're giving us 1 extra place, a guaranteed. Now we have a guaranteed 3 spots. The top 3 teams automatically go into the Champions League. But the 4th place team now, which is going to be Arsenal, have to go up against a recognised team instead of it being the way that it was before, where the first 2 automatically went in, and then 3 and 4 would go and play against some mediocre team somewhere in the middle of nowhere to qualify for Champions League. Still the possibility of getting knocked out, but the bigger possibility of having again 4 clubs from England in the Champions League and making the finals, the quarter-finals and semi-finals. And this is what the governing body of European football, in my opinion, are scared of. They know the English league is too strong for those Nancy-Pansy faggot arses in Europe. I watch the Italian league, I watch the Spanish league. Don't bother with the French because it's a joke. I know that's a kindergarten league. But the Italian league, the Spanish league, the refs, they're blowing every 5 minutes. The games are boring as shit. You go boo behind a player in Europe and he drops to his ass. I mean, Drogba, he might as well go back to Europe because he can't stay on his feet. The man should be an ice skater. And then, mind you, then he might be alright, then he'd have an excuse for falling over all the time. He belongs in Europe because that suits his game of diving all the time. And I know you lot are all going to come back about Ronaldo diving. Yeah, he does. But he's still the world's greatest player. He proved that. He's not having a great season this season because it's really hard to repeat it all. But he's still a great player even though he is a whiny diver. And I will say that. And I'm a true Red fan because I say it as I see it. But something's going on with that European governing body. They've now changed that rule. So Arsenal could very well have to go up against someone like Juventus to qualify for Champions League in the pre-qualifying round. So they're up to something. They're trying to whittle it away. They softened it by saying, oh, we'll give you an extra berth, a guaranteed berth. But they're up to something. I'm telling you now, that governing body of European football are trying to blindside the EPL by saying, oh, we'll give you this. But now they've taken away that 4th spot. There's no guarantee that you're going to get through. You're going to get an easy team. You know, like some pub team from Bikistan, Afghanistan, or whatever stan it is. Now you're going to have to go up against someone like I said, Juventus or whoever finishes in whatever position in the other leagues. So something's going on there. They are up to something, them sly little bastards. So you keep your ears and eyes open, football fans, because I'm telling you, the European Football Association are up to something because they're trying to stop the EPL teams who have earned the spot to get into the Champions League. They're trying to stop them from getting it because in a couple of seasons they're going to do something else, especially if we do carry on getting 4 teams. Look at that. 2 years in a row you got an English team in the final. And I'm not bragging about that because it's United, but you know, hey, well, magic, fantastic. But no matter what would have happened in United semi-final, it still would have been an English team in the final. So 2 years in a row, you got an English team, and the English teams are getting stronger and stronger and stronger because the Premiership is the best league in Europe. And they all have to admit that now because it's being shown that in European football, it's really getting there. Now let's see you lower clubs in the Premiership that end up in the UEFA Cup that's now going to become the Europa Cup. What a pathetic job. Why bother changing the name? Doesn't he glorify it at all? So let's start seeing you teams in the lower who drop into the UEFA Cup and make the UEFA Cup. Let's see you lot start picking up and dusting off and start winning that. Let's take that one out. Alright? Because it was what's it now? You've got a German and a Ukrainian team that are in the that are going to win. Either country's going to take that one. So come on, let's get going, you lower teams. But watch what I'm telling you. You heard it here first, Mr. Angry on here, that the European governing bodies of the Champions League are up to summit to start whittling away the amount of English teams that are going to make the finals on the Champions League. I'm telling you, they're up to something, the sly little European bastards. Remember, win, lose or draw, wear your colours with pride. See you, gang.